Okay, this is mostly for my own use, but this will be useful for other people. The only other video I saw on YouTube for a Yanmar 2GM20F is super dark, so I've got the flash on and a flashlight. This should be useful. This is a J105 from 2001, so if you've got a J-boat from the early 2000s or late 90s, there's a good chance, and this one and everything. There's a good chance your engine looks like this one. Okay, back here, here is the fuel filter. If you've never seen one before, take a look. You'll note that it's filled all the way to the top. There's no water in the bottom. That's how it should look. If there's any air at the top where that beige meets the red, you need to fill that up first before you go further here. If you open that up, it will just drain everywhere, so don't open it up all the way. Crack it slightly. Have a 20-ounce glass ready to go in case you need it. And it does drain everywhere, speaking from personal experience. Okay, here's the transmission leading back. This thing is the fuel pump, or is the low pressure fuel pump. And down here, there's a lever, and if you push this thing enough times, it will suck fuel in to your high pressure pump. Like so. Yeah, alright. That's where that lever is. Cool. And then it comes, the fuel pump's over there somewhere, it comes up here to this thing. I don't know what this does, but it collects air bubbles like a motherfucker. And that right there, full shot, right here, this thing, this is a 12mm bolt. That's great. Okay, so I need a 12mm. If you turn that, just crack it, you'll see air bubbles come out, like soap bubbles, because there's a detergent in the diesel. And leave that open and just run the engine or pump it, and you'll see air bubbles pop out. Eventually, fuel will literally flow out. You're bleeding it at that point. If you see any air bubbles, there's still air in your system. And then we follow this down here to this little shitty thing. And that, I think, is probably your high pressure pump. This is a 10mm bolt. This fucker, the little rusty fucker, and it's right in the way of this other thing that it's just a pain in the ass, but get a socket wrench. Do not try and use the Phillips head on top. So there's that thing. And from there, it goes up here to these metal pipes across to, so it went from here, this thing, fuck you, up, okay, these two metal parallel pipes. These metal parallel pipes go to, well, no they don't, but pretend they do. They go to your injectors. Your injectors look like this. There's a bleed screw. There's a bleed screw. Now, this was the first one was a 12-inch. The second one was a 10mm. But these fuckers, these are something separate. They're 14mm. So, why? Because fuck you. That's why. So you need to crack these each, maybe a quarter or half of a turn, and then tighten them back up. Turn the engine over about 30 seconds. Bleed the system again. Run it for 30 seconds, bleed the system again. Probably you'll need to use the little pump lever that I showed you at the beginning of this video multiple times. I'm not sure what the best order of operations is here, but if you rotate through this enough times,